All right, welcome back to the channel, Lockdown Sports. It's Param, it's Jono, it's Premier League football. Before we get locked in, let's take a rewind back to last week's predictions. Here's Jono with a whopping zero out of 3 predictions, ladies and gentlemen. And here's me. It's a thought that counts. I'm not quite sure that's right, but here's me with 2 and hopefully this week 3 out of 3 predictions. But last week was rough. Mohamed Salah letting me down in fantasy, letting me down on the parlay as well. All right, let's get locked in. Jono, Manchester United versus Arsenal. I'm a bit of a biased source, so what's your prediction?
So for this game, I'm going a bit out there. I'm going to say both teams to score 2 goals each in this game. So my reasoning for that, the midfield battle. So both teams, they've got very attacking-minded midfields. With Arsenal, you've got Declan Rice to hold, but then you have Odegaard and Kai Havertz, who is a striker, he's a winger, he's a cam, he's everything, but he's also nothing. So there's a pretty dead midfield there in terms of defense. And then with United, you've got Casemiro, who's a bit old now, and you've got Bruno and Mount, who only want to attack, only want to score, really. They'll put a bit of effort on defense. So I think it's just going to be attack all day, end to end. The midfields are going to get dominated defensively, and it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah, I often worry about Arsenal because if they run this party shit back from right back into midfield, there's a scenario in which they could have the ball the whole game and it works out. But there's also a world in which a few stray passes and we're attacking these guys. I think we'll be able to score. If Rashford is able to get these guys one-on-one, there's no hope for them. Antony doesn't look that good, but give him one-on-one against Zinchenko. That's his best bet. And Mount is out, obviously. John is a bit of a casual. But Eriksen doesn't have the legs for a Premier League.
That's even worse. That's even worse.
Exactly.
So I was trying to be nice there for once. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, but with what you were saying with Rashford, that's pretty true. One-on-one, I'm sure he can put a few dives in and get another penalty like he did last week. But, that's how United moves these days.
It's diving if we do it, but when Julian Alvarez is able to get a handball like he did last week, that was perfectly fine, was it?
Yeah.
All
right. So moving on, what do you have for me for the Brighton and Newcastle game, mate?
Okay, so last week, coming off the back of a successful prediction on the Brighton game and the Newcastle game, I would like to say that I have an idea about this game, but you could tell me any scoreline and I'd agree with you. If you told me 4-3, 2-2, 0-0, 1-1, I'd be able to find a reason to justify it. But I do have Newcastle scoring at least 2 goals at the Amex. And I don't think they're going to lose. You look at what Brighton struggled with against West Ham.
Yep.
I think Newcastle is going to give all of that and more in terms of aggression, in terms of physicality, in terms of playing vertically sometimes. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see Newcastle playing like that, but Brighton also like to play with speed, and I don't know how Newcastle will cope with that. And after seeing Newcastle concede fairly late to Liverpool against 10 men as well, this Brighton offense has been looking electric to start the season, so I don't know how Newcastle are going to cope with that. It's going to be quite interesting to see.
That was genuinely one of the biggest capitulations we've seen in the Premier League in a long time. 10 men, Liverpool at your home ground, you can't do that. And I understand a bit of it because Joelinton and Sandro Tonali were subbed off for the last 15 minutes, with that 2-goal lead. But then you think, is Anderson, is Longstaff, 1-goal lead, sorry. But if these guys are going to do this with Champions League fixtures coming up, they're going to be playing a lot more minutes. So if they can't secure a 1-goal lead at home against 10 men, I think there's definitely a question mark over their performance coming up. Fantasy football, John, I've had a good week. No one else has had a good week. That's how I've got all
I had a better than average week, so I'll take it for now. But this week, watch out, mate. I'm coming.
Who's your captain then?
My captain for this week on fantasy, it's going to be Mohamed Salah.
Sounds like a man fresh off his wild card. I'm probably going to be captaining Haaland, but for my pick for the week, I would like to say, after Jono predicted him to do so well and he didn't last week, I'm going with Heung-min Son for the second week in a row. Now that Jono has transferred him out.
I hope not. I hope not.
Now that Jono has transferred him out of his fantasy team, you're about to see one of the greatest performances of all time by Heung-min Son.
Please no.
And Spurs have been struggling to find a way to make him fit in with this new system. But Ange isn't a dumb guy. Ange isn't a dumb guy. He's going to find a way to figure it out. Anyways, stay tuned, stay locked in, guys. Subscribe for more.